Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now, don't panic, I haven't been involved in a bar brawl. My eye is a little bit weird. Woke up with it. This is what managing websites and doing content constantly and being on a computer probably does to you. It is on the mend. But other than that, I wanted to do an analysis today on the hero's path that we have just got in game. Let's just bring that up now. We can buy the shard, of course we can. What have we got then? Hero's path. It's the first one since we've had Mortal Soul Stones, so as you can imagine, the Soul Coins, the Soul Stones appear quite a lot. And actually, I'm surprised it's a tier 3 Soul Stone here. This is actually quite hard to get. If you haven't caught my other videos on the Souls math, that's about a year's worth of farming there. A year's worth, at least. Could even be a little bit less if you sell, but it's probably even more than a year. So that is a lot of time to be able to get that, so it's reasonably high, reasonably good reward to get because of the accessibility of it. What else have we got in here? We got 2 legendary books if you complete both paths. I'm going to assume when I do my math here, you only need to go down one side here. You can go down the coin side or the essence side over here. That's what I'm going to assume. So we got some legendary books, some chaos ore. Okay, it's not too bad. 10 essence. They really need to understand that this essence is like extremely low value at this 10 quantity. Like I need about, like if I look at my souls market today, I think I got a 3-star legendary Mortu. I need 120 and you're giving me 10. 10 is not going to get me anywhere. I did get it to Mytha though. That's my 4th clan boss. But yeah, I mean, that 10 essence there is virtually so low quantity it's worthless. We've got an epic book in the middle, some tier 1 soul stones. That's the key we're going to have to get. Okay, some extra coins. And it looks like we got like a little bonus zone here. Okay, so the way you're going to have to do this is you need to pick a side. You need to go down the left-hand side. You can ignore these bonus coins. You do not need them, although they're not that high. It's something I would get if I've got some spare coins afterwards. You generally don't need to worry about these. You do have to get a key from the middle branch. If you go down the left, you have to do this left hand here because you need the key to unlock the sort of premium rewards. And then you can get down and get to the Eternal Soul Stone. It does look on paper the left-hand side is more desirable. I'd prefer 100 of these coins to 10 essence, just personally. I would prefer the sort of 6-star legendary chaos ore to the 5-star epic chaos ore, and I would just prefer the epic book over maybe 3 tier 1s. I don't know. That one's a bit of a mix for me. I prefer the Soul Stones. But I think the left-hand side is just going to be better because of this chaos ore. Here is just better upgrades, but it does look like it's more expensive. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at the math behind this event. We're going to look at what you need to do to achieve it. It is summon champions and it is train champions. So we got training and summoning this time. That's why we don't have a summon rush. So we can see that the training points here haven't changed. They are the same as before, but we are going to get basically summon rush coins depending on the shard, sacred shard being the most, voids being the next most. So we're going to have a look at that math. We're going to have a look at how much each path costs you to get there, and we're going to look at how much effort and how much resources it's going to require and make a decision, is this hero path worth it or not? So the first thing I really wanted to do was basically pull out all the paths that we've got in here and just pull out all of the rewards for this hero's path to compare it against sort of the cost of rewards from the previous heroes paths. So on the left hand side here, we've basically got the total quantity of rewards for all the different things we're going to get and the total cost of those said rewards. So we can kind of get an example of how much per coin are we getting for that reward. So for example, it's 130 coins for a single core hammer. It's 9.2 coins for energy. It is 3,500 coins for an epic book, and so on and so forth. Obviously the silver is heavily like 0.000 something, but just as an example to see what the difference would be. So we can see here the core hammers are the same. They're basically charging us the same to get the same amount of reward. Energy is a little bit better. We're going to get 9.2 energy per coin versus 9.56. We're going to get a little bit more on our epic books, 3,500 instead of 3,550. But the event keys are going to cost 700 more coins than previous. The gems are going to cost about one. It's going to cost us about 1 more. And we're also going to have more cost on the rank up and rarity up. And I think silver is probably a little bit rounded, but to be honest, who really cares about silver? So generally, they've kept it kind of the same. The big liar out here is the event keys used to be 300, they're now 1,000. So that's something to keep in mind. So how have I structured this data? Well, we basically have two paths, for a better word. We have the left-hand side and the right-hand side. There's a bonus path in the middle for some soulstone coins, whatever you want to call them, tier 1 and tier 2. And then we have that eternal soulstone as like a final reward from either side of the path. So I've structured it in that way. We've got path 1 here with the actual rewards and the quantity and the cost of coins. We've got path 2, similar thing. And then I've got the bonus and final path. So when that actually works out the math, we can basically put it into sort of this summary view here where we can see the left-hand side. With the training, I'm going to go through this in a bit of detail just to explain how we've calculated this, just for some context. The summons are pretty straightforward. One shard is one cost, and I'm just going to look at the number of shards required versus the number of coins you need. Simple math. This one for the training is a little bit more complicated. I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see. So what we're going to do is we can kind of pull out the level upgrades, which is what we've got here in the rank upgrades. Now, anyone who's done champion training in the past knows that you get a lot of points from partially leveling your food before you upgrade them. If you take a rank 5 to sort of level 24, 25, you get a lot of points from doing that. So that's what we're doing here. We've made the decision to basically upgrade rank 5 food to level 25 and rank 4 food to level 14. You could go and do level 3 if you really wanted to. I personally don't prefer to do that, so I'm just looking at that as a context. If you change the context, obviously you might be able to reduce the total number of rank 5s you need. I'm also looking at sort of two analysis points here. I'm looking at if you were to take champions from rank 2 to rank 5 and basically generate food, or if you were to take rank 2 to rank 6 and generate new champions for you to use. So sort of like a typical champion training. Now, on the previous one, obviously it was dungeon divers. So all of these numbers here don't matter anymore because we're not getting any divers points. In the previous one, it was divers and training, so we could offset some of our training with dungeon divers. Here, we're doing it with shards. So the key thing I want to point out is how we've got to these numbers. You can see on the left-hand side here, we've got sort of a rank 6 model and a rank 5 model. And we can basically look at how many levels of rank 2s do we need, how many upgrades, how many partial levels of rank 3s and 4s and 5s, and work it all out here. And it'll give me a sort of a coin total. If I want to make one single level 6, upgrade it fully to level 60 and use all the partial leveling in our thing that we've set out, you know, the rank 4 to the rank 5, it will give me on average a total of 24,890 points per rank 6. And I can use that total to basically determine how many rank 6 do we need to complete all these paths. And we can see that kind of roughly over here. We're going to have a look in the analysis in a minute. Obviously for rank 5, we don't have that top level upgrade to rank 6. So we can take that out and it tells us for a single rank 5, partially leveling it to level 25, we will get a total of 4,872. I will share this spreadsheet in the description of this video because I have built a little calculator in this next tab as well. So this is basically the summary of this event. You have these 3 paths effectively. You've got path 1, path 2, and the bonus, and then we just have that cost of the soulstone. The soulstone is going to be more than the entire path to get there. This always happens. This happened in the previous path. You only need to pick one or the other, although the cost to get either side is very similar. So it depends if you want the chaos or that's legendary or the chaos or that's epic. It depends if you want the essence versus the tier 3 coins, and vice versa. It depends if you want the soulstones versus the epic book. Just depends which way you want to go. I don't really think there's much difference here in terms of coins. So we can basically look at this and go, okay, if we start from scratch, how many shards do I need to complete this event? Well, if I want to complete everything, it's 22 sacreds or 89 voids. Now, if you notice, it's actually much more accessible from a void or sacred path than it is from an ancient. If anything, the void path here is the best path considering the volume of voids people will get. If you started this event with say 20, you buy a void pack, you get yourself up to 25. It's expensive, but it's probably less expensive than buying sacreds and buying ancients because you'd need 546 ancients or 11,000 mystery shards. Now this is to complete all paths. If you're doing exclusively training, you don't have any shards, you don't want to pull any shards, then to complete all the paths, you will need around about 20.18 rank 5 champions, doing that path of partial 11, 14 and 15, and then upgrading that rank 5 to the level 25. And then that is about 21,000 energy. If you're doing the rank 6 champion path, where you're basically making rank 6 champions, that will need around about 4 rank 6, and that's about 24,000 energy. So it is more energy efficient to make food than it is to make champions at rank 6. Now, if all you care about is getting to the Eternal Soulstone, you don't care about the other path, you don't want the second legendary book, then you can do a little bit of different math here. We can basically go and add in the 2 to here, so we can basically zero this out, and that would basically be path 1, the more expensive path, but I think the path that is better for people in my opinion, plus the Soulstone. It's going to be around about 13.5 rank 5s or 2.64 rank 6. So it's about 14,000 energy and 16,000 energy respectively. If we look from a shard perspective, how much is it going to get you just to get that tier 3? It's around about 15 sacreds or 60 void shards. Again, I'm almost suggesting here you ignore this void count unless you're mix and matching it up, basically. If you want to mix and match the amount you got here, then that is fine. So let's talk about what it would be if you want to mix it up a bit. So if I look at my account here and I say I want to fully go in for this, I've got about 54 ancients and 12 void shards here. So I'm going to put that into my calculator and I'm going to work out how much training I need to do to finish the hero's path. So we put 54, 12. That is going to give me a total of 22,920 points. And I'm just going to assume I'm going to go down the hero path 1 here. So that's going to basically reduce me down to requiring 15 and a half, or give or take, rank 5s and around 3 rank 6. Obviously, if I've got brews, that saves me energy. If I've got chickens, that saves me the amount of food. But keep in mind that you still need to gain extra points if you're going to use chickens, because I'm assuming you're going to create and upgrade those champions, which are going to generate coins. Chickens will not. So that'll be the offset there. I would get around 22,000 points. That would get me down one path. I would probably need more shards if I wanted to do it this way. I would have to then go, I'm going to make 16 of these, and then I would be able to finish the path. So if I wanted to do this inversely and kind of work out, okay, well, I've got some food I want to use. How many shards will I need after I've done it? Say like I make 2 rank 6s, but this would be fully leveling those rank 2s through to rank 6. So the full process here. And I've made an extra 5 sort of rank 5 food on top of that. Well, you can see then I actually don't need that many shards left. I would need around about 5 sacred shards, 22 void shards, and about 135 ancients. Again, the ancient rate here is pretty poor. That would actually mean that would be to complete the whole path. I wouldn't actually need this many. If I just want to work out how much food that I need to just get that soulstone, is probably about 3 rank 6s. That would get me enough to what I need to be able to get there. So as I said, this Excel document here, I'll put it as a Google Sheet in the description. So you can use this calculator to kind of look at how many points you're going to need after you've pulled your shards, or vice versa. Use it whichever way you want. The math behind here is also here. This extra additional information that I've created is for a dungeon divers. I will leave it in there, but effectively you want to ignore the campaign boost. And then you can kind of do your own math. Do I think this event is worth it? Well, the first point I'd make is if you really want these champions, then you're going to be pulling shards anyway, so that's not a terrible route to go. You know, the summons we got here are pretty good. Leorius the Proud is a very good Void Legendary. We've got Stultus Dragonbrain, probably the best defensive-based nuker, but also a great utility champion. Hefrak, we know, is probably one of the hardest-hitting champions in Arena at the moment. Cupidus, if you've got a Venus lying around, is a great pull. He makes things so much more fun. And even the epics are really good. If you didn't pick up a Thalesia, she makes the faction war much easier. It's one of the few AoE defense champions in that faction. Husk is awesome for Hydra. Magnar, one of the best epic nukers, although he's probably going to go down in priority now that the epic blessings are not so good. And we've also got a Skull Crown, is a great void nuker. So all of these champions are very good. So if you're pulling shards, then you're already halfway there. You might as well commit yourself to get to this Eternal Soul Stone. It's a long time to get one of these Soul Stones. You may never get another one of these for another 6 months. It was the top reward for a champion chase. It takes a very long time to farm them. Since the game has come out with the Awakening, since we've done the Blessings, I've managed to get myself 350 coins. And that is by acquiring them from the tournaments. You can see I've only done one of these tier 2s. So getting one of these is going to take a very long time because I need another 650 just to get one. And I could sell some of my soul collection, but ultimately you know, the time it takes is a very long time. So considering it's at the bottom, you only need to go down one path, I'm going to assume. Plus you get a legendary book along the way. It's a very good yield for your time and effort. I would suggest that maybe going down one path is worth it for many people. It's about 60,000 points for one, or 65,000 points for one path. Even if you don't care about blessings, going down one path to get a legendary book might be even a good option. 30,000 points for a legendary book is a great conversion. When you think along the path, you'll get an epic book, or if you want to go down the right hand side, you'll get soul stones, you'll get a legendary chaos ore, you'll get some useless essence. I don't even know why we've got that there. And then you've got these little bonus coins in the middle if you want to pick up some extra coins along the way. I mean, for 3,400 coins, it's actually quite good. You get one tier 1 soulstone and a bit more tier 2 coins. So yeah, so I'm actually quite surprised it's as accessible as it is. I would have thought this would have been almost like 60,000, because I know how much they are valuing that tier 3 soulstone based on how difficult it is to acquire. I will be probably going for this fully, in my view. I don't know if I'm going to go down this right hand path, but I'm definitely going to go down the left and get this middle path, just because I really want that tier 3 soulstone. I really want to bless more champions. It's a really quite fun system. I just wish there was more resources to do it. Whether or not I go down this right hand path as well is a question. And I would highly suggest, if you've got some sacreds, this will make it much easier. Void shards might be the better way to go completely, and then finish it off with some training as you normally do. We are mid-fusion now, so we'll probably have like a week's break before we get an announcement for the next fusion, with a bit of luck. It may even be a mini fusion, because at the end of next month, we will of course have a Halloween fusion. And they normally do a mini epic fusion to basically break it up. It's unlikely that we're going to go fusion into another full fusion. It's probably going to be a mini one, in my opinion. I was quite surprised why Nagoria came out because of that. Every year so far since the game has come out, we always have like an epic fusion just before the Halloween fusion, so the dates fall in line. So with that said, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this Heroes event. I know it probably heavily depends on whether you actually value the Awakening system or not. I think the Awakening system is so important for the game now that this is too good an opportunity to overlook. Keep in mind, the tier 3 soul stones are a guaranteed epic and legendary. You get rid of all of the rare champions and it's 5 to 6 star. So you guarantee yourself, if it's a good champion you pull, that it will be a very useful blessing you can put on that champion. Granted, it could still be a useless epic or a useless legendary, but at least it's cutting out all of the rare champions at all of the lower ascension levels here. So it's really good for that. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll be going for it, and hopefully I will get some luck out of my tier 3 Eternal Soulstone. But with that said, I'll catch you in the next video.